Time to finish Clone Wars. This time, Season 7 is coming to an end. Come with me as I continue to watch through the Clone Wars for the first time. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And we're back once again. It's time to finish talking about Season 7 and the Clone Wars. In case you're new to the channel, I did a special live stream of my reactions to the final arc, but I also wanted to put out a normal video for everyone. Perhaps you don't have Clone Wars available to watch at the same time, or you prefer this format, maybe you just want to hear it, or for whatever reason it might be. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Now before we jump in, I want to let you know that there will be one more bonus Clone Wars first time video because I've got the Unfinished Crystal Crisis to watch, as well as I guess a few other clips of unfinished pieces of Clone Wars. So I'll have that one come out next week. Well, without any further preamble, here we go into the last arc of Clone Wars. This is episode 9 of season 7, Old Friends Not Forgotten. So right off the bat, we've got the old green Lucasfilm logo. And what an intriguing choice that is right there. And then we get the red Clone Wars coming up. And I don't think that's probably just about Maul here in this case, but probably that too. Got the classic music in the intro. We have a red part 1 with the title of the episode come up. Ooh, so cool. And I think this is the first time we don't have the weird little sayings anymore. Nothing in there. And then, boom, we're off. We see we're in the Outer Rim sieges, massive siege from Grievous. Jedi generals are spread across the galaxy. And noting where some of those generals are, oh, you know we're close to Order 66. Oh, ouch. For where we're going right now, we are off to the distant planet of Urbana. So we've got Cody in the 212, we've got Rex, Obi-Wan, and that means the 501st will be there too. There is a massive fight on this bridge here on the planet Urbana. Orange coloring on the clones, and they look different this time a little, which is cool. And oh man, what a hero's entrance for Obi-Wan. That is an epic entrance for you. He's got this huge defense with his lightsaber of Cody, who might have been toast otherwise. And as heroic as Obi-Wan's entrance is, Anakin's, oh, it drips with the arrogance and coolness of Anakin as he just walks on in. Doesn't worry about the battle or the shots going on. As Obi-Wan says a little later, you're overdoing it a bit. Yeah, no kidding. And between Anakin and Obi-Wan, oh man, there is some great banter right there. Oh, Anakin, hey, there's only 1,000 of them. I mean, we can cower here, or we could go do with my plan. Oh, too much fun. And where do we get? Well, Anakin walks forward on his own, alone, toward the droid line, as they all get ready to fire on that dang Jedi. Well, no. Hold your fire. I'm claiming I'm here to surrender. Well, let's just ignore the war crime right there. Now, it might not be a war crime in that galaxy, but yeah, there's a reason it's a war crime to falsely surrender, because it puts all kinds of people in a hellacious amount of danger because you can't trust any surrender, so you just murder everybody. Ugly stuff. Anyway, moving on though, we find out that Rex and company are all crawling along the underside of the bridge, and the whole thing is we're waiting for the droid commander to pop his head up, because then we can end this battle a heck of a lot quicker. And, well, this gets the droid commander to show up, who immediately realizes the problem, but hey, by that point, it's too late. Anakin yanks him with the Force, slicing his head clean off with another cool-looking move. And love the music here because it's surprise attack time now. Jetpack clones coming out from under the bridge. Oh, it looks so cool. I just love the jetpack clones, the Mandalorians up in the air and the jetpacks. So cool to watch all those kind of things right there. And Anakin, hey, smug arrogance with the arms crossed, having succeeded with his plan. And then we have this little last banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin here in the battle. Obi-Wan, bravo, Anakin, you've done it again. Anakin, oh, I can't take all the credit. Your state of helplessness really sold them on my surrender talk. Always glad to help, my friend. Oh, nice. Well, anyway, they receive a communication and they head on up to the ship. And no, it was not from Saw Gerrera, even though it was on his signal on the frequency. Well, they find out who it is, and it's Ahsoka. And just the look on Anakin's face upon realizing that it's Ahsoka there. Oh, love it. Ahsoka explains how she and Bo have gone ahead and found Maul. And hey, we're going to get to see them all soon, right? Meantime, Anakin's busy now trying to convince himself that, Ahsoka's banishment, it was a good thing, right? It all makes sense because if she hadn't left the Order, she wouldn't have been where she needed to be. Even Obi-Wan, Mr. Jedi Knight, the Force is will and all that, is like, yeah, it's one way of looking at it, I suppose. But Anakin just really needs it because it hurt him so much over everything that happened, and what a pain. Yeah. Getting to see Ahsoka walk off of the ship to go greet Anakin and Obi-Wan, oh, that was a moment there. But there's also such a sadness to the music. As we're reaching closer to the end of, well, everyone being on the same side, and you know it's coming. We only have 4 episodes. And, well, no time to catch up, huh? Which, of course, Anakin's sad, so are all the rest of us watching. Certainly I am. But, hey, we'll get some later. So we get the talking there, and Bo has to admit she doesn't have the numbers for a siege. It's why she came to the Republic. And, well, otherwise Maul's going to escape, and they'll keep having their bloody problems. I love this little banter between Obi-Wan and Bo and Anakin about, hey, no, we've got enough wars here. We're going to break treaties if we do this. Bo, what's one more? Anakin, well, we're not finished with our first one yet. Nice. By the way, the animation on the faces is so good in here. You get so much more emotion off of everybody's faces. Oh, love it. Oh, if this could have been there for the whole series. Well, during the rest of that talk, Bo does make a reference to her sister to Obi-Wan. And you see definitely a bit of emotion on Obi-Wan's face. But Obi-Wan keeps it in check. He won't let his emotions rule what the heck he does. Which is an intriguing contrast to what ends up happening with Anakin here in, well, the not too distant future, i.e. Revenge of the Sith, where he very much lets his emotions control what the heck he chooses to do. To disastrous results, to put it lightly. Yikes. Now we get to finally have Anakin and Ahsoka alone, because Obi-Wan left to go talk to the council, and Bo just left in kind of not the happiest condition. But hey, it means we finally have the two together. And hey, you get this little, hey, you two certainly haven't changed. Is that such a bad thing? And you get that little shrug from Ahsoka. And then you get to see Ahsoka reacting to the clones saluting her as a commander still in the hallway. And Ahsoka's basically talking about, hey, they shouldn't salute me anymore, not since I left the Order. And Anakin talking about how it's a sign of respect, how loyalty means everything to the clones. And frankly, it means a lot to Anakin too on loyalty. We definitely know that. And so it's time for a surprise. So entering this new room, and you've got the 501st, Rex is in there, and they've all got orange paint on their helmets that matches the markings on Ahsoka's face. And oh man, that is just such a touching tribute right there. Yeah. And Ahsoka tries to get Rex to not call her Commander. Sure thing, Commander. Yeah. Well, we've got one more surprise in a box from Anakin, which you gotta go, lightsabers? But we'll have to say that for later because klaxons start going off and Obi-Wan rushes in. And no, this isn't that the plan was approved, it's no, that the attack on Coruscant by Grievous is happening right the heck now. And my heart dropped when I found out that was the case. I thought we'd have more time here before that happened. That would be later on in this. Oh, because that means episode 3 is like about to start now. And this is going to be our final good moments between our characters right here, right now. And I was really hoping for more time. I was hoping for more interactions. And that is a gut punch right there to find that one out. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean this is a bad episode or anything like that by saying that. Oh, heck no. Gut punches can be a good thing. Relatively speaking, I suppose. Oh, that was painful to find that one out. Well, we found out that Shakti was off guarding the Chancellor, but Windu's lost contact with her. And hey, they can be there within an hour. Yeah, that's how close it is. Now, this actually then turns into a bit of an argument here because Ahsoka's got a little bit of an issue. So that's it? You're going to abandon Bo-Katan and her people? And Ahsoka takes this whole thing as, well, guess what? Yeah, I can understand. As usual, you're playing politics. This is why the people have lost faith in the Jedi. I had too, until I was reminded of what the Order means to people who truly need us. And that actually helps elevate the arc right before this a little bit in getting to see that. That arc still could have been a lot stronger, don't get me wrong. But it does help at least give us a little bit of this as I think about it. And Obi-Wan tries to defend it with, right now, people on Coruscant need us. No, the Chancellor needs you. That's not fair. I'm not trying to be. I love that interaction. And she has a point, to be frank. And of course, because of what the Chancellor really is and how all the manipulation there, it makes it so much worse. It's so much more to the point of what's going on. Oh, what a mess. And even more to the point, they don't try to figure out a way to do both. Not Obi-Wan anyway. Because Anakin then steps in to try to defuse the situation and find out a way to make both things happen at the same time. They decide eventually to promote Rex to commander and split the 501st, so part of it will go with Ahsoka as an advisor to Mandalore. Because she can't command it herself as she's not actually part of the Jedi Order and therefore not part of the Grand Army of the Republic currently. And then you get that beautiful, thanks for the support, as always. That's what friends are for. Oh, so painful at the same time because you know what's happening and where we're going. And that then leads us to this final good conversation between Anakin and Ahsoka. Just the looks between them, and hey, then we get to see the lightsabers that are in the box. Surprise, surprise. Anakin, I took care of them. They're good as new. Maybe a little better than new. Because now they're both blue lightsabers. Yeah. And then we get this interesting little final piece, which is about luck. Hey, you capture Maul, I'll take care of Grievous. With any luck, all of this will be over soon. Yeah, we hope so, right? Master Kenobi always said there was no such thing as luck. Good thing I taught you otherwise. And then Anakin starts walking out the door, and Ahsoka, Anakin, good luck. And Anakin has this little smile across his face, and then leaves. And you know, that's the last time they're ever going to see each other on the same side. Dang, it's a heartbreaking goodbye when you know that. And it's done so well, it's right up there with Anakin and Obi-Wan's goodbye in episode 3. It hits me in that same way right there. Oh, it's painful and beautifully, beautifully done. Okay, off to Mandalore we go, and wow, they've got a sizable fleet. Dang. Now here I am happy that Almec is still around. He makes for a good disliked adversary here for us to go up against. And Bo really is intrigued. I love how she's okay with being seen as siding with the Republic in order to do this. It matters that much. Even if it means she herself is outcast over the course of it. Down into the atmosphere we go, and hey, it's nice to see some destruction even on the way down. I always love that because it adds to the realism a little bit right there. You don't all make it down to the ground just fine. It doesn't happen. And now it's a jetpack fight because we got the Mandalorians popping up. The clones are coming off of the ships with the jetpacks. Oh, nice. And hey, then Ahsoka is going to go race Rex on down to the surface. But hey, Ahsoka doesn't need a jetpack because hey, she's a Jedi. A little reckless, don't you think? Dang. Oh, now that said, oh, this is fun. There are some great lightsaber fighting, some fun moves, and the jumping from ship to ship by Ahsoka as she works her way down to the surface. Oh, so many great moments already here within this arc. And once they get down to the bottom, Ahsoka's all, beat you.
some things never change. Now as the fight's going on, look at this energy shield Saxon's got. That is pretty cool right there. Just saying. And now it's time for our groups to all split up. So Bo's going to head off with some Mandalorians to the throne room to get Olmec. Rex is going to head back to the docks and back up Ursa, another of the Mandalorians. And Ahsoka's going to head down to the Undercity where Captain Vaughn is at because he caught some sight of Saxon in the pipes. So Bo-Katan and Olmec get to fight in the throne room. And let's be frank, it's not a long fight, but you wouldn't expect it to be. I mean, this is Bo-Katan, who we clearly know is a good warrior. And Olmec, I don't know how much he really ever fought. But hey, he put up a little bit of a fight before going down. And we got to watch that, and that was fun. And we get to find out a bit of Maul's motives potentially here. Although, we kind of suspected he would have wanted Obi-Wan anyway, right? Olmec with the whole little, he wanted you to bring the Jedi here, but you brought the wrong one. Yeah. And then Bo can't warn Ahsoka because of the interference from the tunnels. Now, when I was watching this, I thought her being in the tunnels at some point later on might give us an excuse for her and the clones avoiding Order 66. And I was definitely wrong about that. But more on that later. So, speaking of being down in the tunnels, down to Ahsoka. And, well, there's a bunch of Mandalorians stalking them in the side passages. Can't see that one going bad. And it does. Lots of dead clones. And Vaughn himself also dies, which actually made for a really nice touching moment with Ahsoka. All of them with that orange paint on their helmets probably just makes it a little more so that way too. Just because of how much they all care about Ahsoka, and it puts it there so you know that much more that they cared that much about you and you feel like you let them down. Yeah. Well, and Ahsoka is now surrounded. Mandalorians are at every one of the entrances to this central little spot in the pipes. And Darth Maul comes in from the other one. I was hoping for Kenobi. Now why are you here? The look on his face. Oh, nice. And then Ahsoka has this perfect fighting pose. And cut. That's it. Boom. Done. End of episode. With a lightsaber hum, we fade into silence. Now, this definitely, right off the bat, I'm like, whoa, this feels like it could be one long film rather than separate pieces with the way that it ended. And as far as an episode, what can I say? I can't give this less than a 10 out of 10. Out of the few episodes in the show that I do that for. Heck, there are times I debate more than a 10 out of 10, and whoa, because it just fires on all cylinders. It pulls at my heart. It has great fights, music, visuals, writing, dialogue. Across the board, it is just firing. Dang. Wow. A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I've heard so many good things, so it's not a surprise in that sense, but even so, this is well beyond what I expected. Well, why waste time here? Let's move straight on to the next episode. Episode 10 of Season 7. Phantom Apprentice. Can't make a guess what that's a reference to. And we are right where we left off. No need for a preamble or anything else. It's just the logo's the title, and boom, we're right back in. And Maul's like, hey, I don't know who the heck you are. And so, well, I know you. Yes, I imagine we have several mutual friends. I wouldn't put it that way. Yeah. And Maul makes this comment about, dang, I really thought Kenobi was going to come in. Perhaps bring his loyal fool. Skywalker, is it? No such luck there, huh? But then we get this really interesting interchange on the next couple lines. Because Ahsoka tells him that Master Kenobi had a more important engagement, and his response is this. He's, indeed, I wonder. The moment may be upon us. So, what an ominous line out of Maul, and you clearly know that he must have an idea of what the heck is going on. The only reason that some big, more important engagement is going on, he seems to know it's a bad thing. Yeah. And just to follow that up and tell us just how much he does, well, he's like, my surrendering? Well, that would be pointless. For if I am correct, soon the Jedi and Republic will no longer be the controlling interest in the galaxy. And after Ahsoka asks who, he has a bit of fear in his face when he answers, Darth Sidious. Yeah. The fear in his face even affects Ahsoka a bit right there. By the way, back to being able to see the emotions in their faces the way we can here in these episodes. Oh, man. So valuable. Well, fight pops up because we brought some of the other clones in, and Maul runs away, etc., 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 and we are back to the throne room now. So there is a transmission from Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan ends up sharing what the council suspects about Sidious, being the Dark Lord behind everything and all that. And he also shares that Dooku is dead and Anakin killed him. Yeah, well, that was a foregone conclusion right there. It's interesting to actually see a bit of this side of Obi-Wan's opinion on that, and you can tell it troubles him a bit. And we also find out that Obi-Wan is being sent to hunt down Grievous on Utapau, which of course we also knew was happening, but that gives you an idea of how much time has passed. Yeah. Dang, things are happening so fast. Well, Ahsoka asks for some more help. Try to get some more Jedi or clones or whatever over here to Mandalore to help fix this situation and get it under control. Well, what about Anakin? That leads to Obi-Wan talking to Ahsoka alone. Because guess what? Anakin is, as we all well know, on special assignment from the Council to spy on the Chancellor. And Ahsoka immediately sees problems with this, as you would think anybody who knows Anakin well probably would. Man, I've got to imagine what the scene was in the Jedi Council when they were talking about this and telling Obi-Wan to go tell Anakin. Obi-Wan could not have been in favor of this. He had to have also known just how horribly stupid an idea it was. Don't get me wrong, it was also incredibly valuable to the Jedi. They needed somebody to try to get that information because they were heavily suspicious of the Chancellor. Not of being a Dark Lord of the Sith. If they were suspicious of that, it would have been a different matter. But Anakin being a Jedi and close to the Chancellor, yada yada, made him the perfect choice. Yeah. Hey, something can be stupid and also the right choice, or seemingly the right choice at the same time. What a mess. Anyway, so Ahsoka certainly sees it too. She's like, the Chancellor has been a great friend and mentor. I can't imagine he's happy about this. And hey, you better bet I'm not the one to go defend the Council's actions. You know what the Council did to me. Yeah. And Obi-Wan certainly also knows, even admits the Council isn't always right, and that's why he's asking for her help. Yeah. Obi-Wan being who he is, though, will go with what the Council ends up deciding on, even if he is against it, though. That is most certainly true about Obi-Wan. The exemplar Jedi Knight that he is. Well, they end up having to dash away in response to an attack on the Mandalorians. Good excuse to bring the conversation to an end. Well, we find out from clone Sterling that Maul took Jesse alive. Oh, dang, I don't want Jesse to die here. That was definitely my thought at this point. I'm like, dang. Oh, I like Jesse. Definitely one of my faves. And we get to see Maul doing a bit of the pumping of Jesse for information. And yeah, like Jesse's going to really be able to hold back against friggin' Darth Maul. Good luck with that. And Maul has good lines. There are so many well-written lines in the course of this arc, and this is another one of them here. Because he's got this whole, how charming that you actually believe that statement to be true. In terms of wasting the time and trying to interrogate him. Yeah. Clones, bred for combat, all part of the plan. And Jesse going, what plan? The plan. The only plan that matters. Not even I was made aware of its grand design. But I played my part. And do you know what happened to me? I was cast aside. I was forgotten. But I survived, and I can thrive in the chaos that is to come. Oh, it's a good line. Maul's always been a fun character here in the series, no doubt about that. I mean, I've got zero problem with Maul being back alive. I definitely questioned it a lot before I watched Clone Wars, knowing that he was back. But he is used so dang well that I have zero complaints that Maul is back and alive throughout this. Both between how he's written, how he's used, and also how he's voiced. So well done. Well, then we head back on up to Almec, because Ahsoka and Bo-Katan are off talking to him. And, well, they find out that no, Maul wasn't trying to escape right now. Because he's been feeling a big sense of dread for weeks. And he wanted Obi-Wan here, sure, okay, but not just Obi-Wan. He had a vision, a dream, a name came to him. Skywalker. Now we get rid of Almec. Almec's gone now because he just got shot by Saxon to try to shut him up. Sadly, a little too late, but, well, not sadly for us. Although, the tragic part is we know this is all not going to work. We already know the outcome. We know what happens. But here come more hints. Heck, it's just like some of the other arcs we've had in the show where they get closer to the truth and it just doesn't get put together. So that's going to be the case this time too, and you know it's going to happen. We get this nice moment of Bo chasing Saxon. It's a good little fight right there. Some nice hand-to-hand combat, plus some Mandalorian tricks and jetpack work. And heck, Bo has to freaking stop an elevator from crashing down on her via the jetpack to save herself. Fun stuff. Nicely done. And then we head back down to Maul. We find out that he just sent the Syndicate off into hiding. Cool. And we also get this interesting little conversation where he talks about how he had thought Dooku was just some old fool. But he realizes now that they were both the same. They were both a step behind. Sidious was always a step ahead of them. And that they were always just pawns being used. And then he gives this great speech to the other Mandalorians because he knows how the hell to motivate them. Ending with, hey, it's not the way of your people to hide here in the gutters. If you die, I promise you, it will be on the field of battle. And if you die, you will die as warriors. Now, amusingly, some of that is probably true about the way Darth Maul views things too. Although Maul also knows when to hide in the gutters. So there's that. And just as much as Maul was a pawn of Sidious, look at all these pawns and Maul's assembled around him. Yeah. And dang, throughout all of this, all of the emotions you see on Maul's face, there are so many emotions playing in there and crossing around. Oh, it's great. We get to watch all the citizens up on topside being escorted to shelters. Yeah, the lovely side of occupations for you, huh? And Bo, not happy with that. Because, hey, the people aren't going to stand for it, and I won't stand for it. Yeah, I don't feel like that occupation's probably really going to end super well for you anytime soon. And now, I love this next moment. There's this reveal of walking into the throne room and finding Maul just sitting there on the throne. Oh, just the way he does it. Beautiful. And irreverent, right? And hey, Jesse's still alive. Nice. I was really sad and worried that Jesse was going to be dead after having run into Maul like that. But apparently, as a measure of good faith, he gives him Jesse back. Well, and now we gotta go ahead and get rid of the others, so only Ahsoka's left. So Rex leaves with Jesse to get him medical attention, and Bo leaves to deal with the other Mandalorians who are now attacking out in the city. So now it is just Ahsoka and Darth Maul. And it is time for, a conversation that is loaded with good moments in here. We get Maul talking to Ahsoka, clearly wanting her to be on his side, talking about how she was cast out of the Order, and Ahsoka tries to deny it by saying, it was voluntarily left. Yeah, but you were motivated to leave by the hypocrisy of the Jedi Council. No kidding. And tries to identify her with, we were both tools for greater powers. Oh, yeah. It's just an interesting conversation, and you could see it go so many ways. I'm sure there are what-ifs you could go ahead and decide on if it had gone a different direction. Or heck, what if Anakin and Obi-Wan had headed to Mandalore along with Ahsoka rather than going to Coruscant? Now, there's a question for you, too. And then we get this really good line out of Maul, because Ahsoka says that she's here to bring him to justice. And Maul says, justice is merely the construct of the current power base. Oh, so true. In terms of, if we're talking law and in the sense of bringing you to justice, it really is that sense. We're not talking about a philosophical sense of what would justice really mean. But yeah, no, it really is, right? And of course, as Maul says, that power base is about to change because Darth Sidious is behind everything. And Ahsoka makes another plea for Maul's help. With your help, the Jedi can stop Sidious before it's too late. And Maul already knows better. Too late for what? For the Republic to fall? It already has, and you just can't see it. There is no justice, no law, no order except for the one that will replace it. Oh, man, is he spot on. And you don't want him to be spot on, but he is. And that leads to Maul then flipping the script and trying to bring Ahsoka back his direction. Because guess what? The Jedi's time has passed. They can't defeat Sidious, but hey, you and I can. Every choice has led you here. And it's a great struggle for trying to get each other on that side, trying to get that help. And the war is still raging on outside during the course of this. And then the giant bay of windows breaks, the glass bursting inward and past the two of them. And I love the cinematicness of this. It's so wonderful. And also, this moment is so important that neither of them even seem to notice the flying glass all around them. That is how important it is. And it is. Love it so much. And then Ahsoka says, "I will help you." She actually says it. Now, whether it's a feint to get more information or not, I don't truly know. But I think she was sorely tempted at that point. Clearly she was tempted. But she does ask a question. What do you want with Anakin Skywalker? And Maul is willing to answer anything at this point. And he says he's the key to everything. To destroy. He has been long groomed for his role as my master's new apprentice. But Ahsoka, there's no way she can handle that or accept that or put it in her world view. You lie. Because Maul, the whole point of all of this at Mandalore right now, the point was to go ahead and get Anakin to show up. It wasn't anything about revenge on Kenobi. No. He was trying to get Anakin there because he had actually had a vision of the fact Anakin was the apprentice Sidious needed, and therefore he would deprive Sidious of his prized pupil. Wow. But Ahsoka, again, cannot accept that, will not accept that. I know Anakin. Draws her lightsabers. Your vision is flawed. And by the way, her drawing the lightsabers again, such a moment, such an image. And then we get into this amazing lightsaber duel fight. The music building up for this, and the war is great too, the lighting, the quality of everything in here, including this lightsaber duel fight. This lightsaber duel fight is so impressively fought. It is more impressive than any other lightsaber duel fight in the course of the Clone Wars series. It is on a par with some of the best lightsaber duel fights of the movies. And as I found out later after the fact, there is a good reason for that. Because they actually used motion capture and actually had people doing the fight. Heck, they brought Ray Park, who actually went ahead and played Maul in episode 1 to go do the motions for Darth Maul. So there's a reason this fight is so insanely good. Man, I just wish all the fights could be this scale. I mean, I wish that about all kinds of things quality-wise now, don't I? But it just puts this thing up that much more. It's like, wow. Hey, if I had to have that last arc not be as good as I wanted it to in order to have this arc be so good, so be it. I will take that. That is a bargain I will take any day. Oh, I love a little line about Maul saying that Ahsoka has Kenobi's arrogance in the course of the battle. There's some good wit that pops in on a spot right there. But just that little thing, that arrogance passes down from Kenobi over to Anakin, definitely passes to Ahsoka as well. Yeah, they all have a little bit of that. To varying degrees, and to varying degrees as to how much it gets in their own way sometimes. Now, I also love how they intercut this with the battle outside, and it works so well. It feels so Star Warsian to do that, which is also a great way of helping make things feel more epic. The scope is enlarged because we're not just watching this fight. We're also watching the battle outside. Well, the tide of that battle turns against Maul's Mandalorians. And Saxon contacts Maul, looking for help, some backup, because they are losing. And Maul's line, so painful. No, I think not. Any moment my ship will be arriving. Die well, Mandalorian. Dang, that is so cold right there. By the way, this is after Maul got away from Ahsoka for a little bit. And, Ahsoka then gets on up there, and they have this conclusion to their fight that is up on these metal girders way up in the air. And what a beautiful setting for a fight. Not to mention that means the background beneath them is all the explosions, fire from the battle that's been going on. Whoa, it's wow. And it's good. And yeah, guess what? Ahsoka does manage to pull off the win there. And Maul really wished he could have fallen to his death at that moment. Really just wanted to die, but Ahsoka caught him using the Force, pulled him up. And after getting captured, he's telling everybody that, hey, we're all going to die. You don't know what you're doing. And to see that on Darth Maul of all people, ooh, yeah, you should be worried. If you were any of the rest of them, he wasn't just screwing around if you're listening to that. And the episode closes on a beautiful shot of Ahsoka on those girders against a colorful backdrop, looking up at the hole where Maul was hoping to escape, and with doubt and exhaustion just evident in her face. Just damn. Awesome episode. It is another, again, 10 out of 10. I can't give it lower than that. Wow. Dang. Without further ado, let's jump right on into the next one. So this is episode 11 of season 7, Shattered. So we start in here and the music is just so sad off the bat. And it's such a striking pose against what we're seeing because they've just won. The battle is over. Maul has captured the Mandalorians. Well, the good Mandalorians have retaken Mandalore, let's put it that way. Perhaps tragic is even a better word for the music. And that juxtaposition, oh, it is so nice and well done. And that juxtaposition also plays on the fact that we know that this is not the happy ending that we will love it to be, because we know where things are headed. And we get some nice compliments between Bo and Ahsoka too, which is really neat. Maybe they'll see each other again in the future. That would be cool. I mean, given what I know about future things, I know that's clearly a possibility. I knew it when I was watching this that neither of those two are going to die here. As much as I try to avoid spoilers, I don't avoid it all. And hey, especially with things in talking about Mandalorian season 2 and things of that nature. And then we get to go on and hey, it looks like, well, maybe Ahsoka's going to get a chance to talk to Anakin because Rex tells her that the council is waiting and Anakin was there when he left to get her. And that's definitely not where this is headed. Because Ahsoka is too late for that piece. Oh, crap. That is where we're at here. Because what set of lines do we get? I sent a plot to destroy the Jedi. Oh, you know where that means we are. But hey, now we get this new touch. Because apparently after what we saw in the movie, Ahsoka then comes in and the conversation continues a little. And well, we get this thing from Ahsoka of, hey, yeah, no, she just did her duty as a citizen. She's not willing to say she did it as a Jedi, which Yoda's definitely disappointed in. And then we find out, as we already know because of that plot to destroy the Jedi line, well, we already know what's happened, and Mace goes and tells Ahsoka that, yeah, Anakin was just sent to talk to the Chancellor, which, of course, we know is where he's going to get his confirmation that Palpatine is Darth Sidious, the Dark Lord they've been looking for the whole time, which means we are so bloody close to him going to the dark side and to Order 66. Which also means you know that it's probably too late already at this moment. As well, I mean, we already knew it would be too late, but still. Even then, just one more conversation between Ahsoka and Anakin would have been nice. I'm always wanting just a bit more. Dang. Now, at this point, I was wondering where we would get another interaction between Ahsoka and Anakin, if it would be able to happen before he went to Mustafar or sometime after that. Yeah, because I was expecting that would probably still happen within this arc. Now, of course, I was wrong, but I was suspecting that at this point in time. And no, Ahsoka can't talk to Obi-Wan here either because Obi-Wan is in battle over there, so yeah, no luck there either. So hey, the war could be over soon. But then Mace gives his cryptic, that depends on the Chancellor. And Ahsoka says, what do you mean? And oh, what we get from Mace right here. Oh, you just want to punch him. Because he's all, I'm sorry, citizen. These matters are for the council to discuss. What an ass. Dang. Now, I'm not saying it's not justified from Mace. That's not my point. Even so, you can choose how you interact and how you deal with that if you don't trust Ahsoka or you don't want to tell her, etc. Oh, man. Also, if you had said it to Ahsoka and really told her what was going on with the Chancellor right there, but even then, you still don't have that last piece about him actually being the Dark Lord of the Sith yet. Oh, yeah. There are so many different directions this could have gone if one person or another had felt willing to bridge a gap. But would any of that have stopped it? I don't know. I don't know that any of it would have. But it's an interesting question. Oh, would it be fun to talk about that? And, well, the rest all leave, and Yoda actually stays on with Ahsoka for a little bit, just asking if maybe she's got a message for Skywalker, and no. Ahsoka clearly debates it, but decides that no, she's not going to say anything, even just to Yoda. And considering what she knows and what she heard from Maul, how dangerous is it to go ahead and tell the other Jedi that Sidious has been grooming Anakin to be his new apprentice? I mean, that is dangerous as hell. They already don't trust him that much. And, of course, especially if this is just some plot of Maul's and just another trick to say something like that. And also just what kind of a betrayal to Anakin it would be. And on top of all of that, add to it how the Council treated Ahsoka without the evidence strong enough to support it. Well, I mean, there was a fair bit of evidence, don't get me wrong, but the amount of evidence you have for this is way weaker. So yeah, no, of course she's not going to say it. Oh, and it is so painful here. So very painful. And the music is also ominous and full of portent. And heck, the music is actually a little reminiscent of the music while Anakin is waiting in the temple as we're now getting ready to go on the ship and load Maul on. And Maul's in this containment pod thingy, apparently an old Mandalorian thing for Force users. Yeah. Oh, and apparently they were outlawed by Satine. And Bo's all, yeah, she did. This is the last one. Sure it is. Right. Yeah, we don't have any others of those sitting around. You just know there's no time left here because we know where we're at. Heck, we pull in on Darth Maul and we can see a little from his point of view. He who knows what's about to happen here. And as we're coming onto the ship, onto the big old cruiser, you feel that everything is about to go to hell. And Ahsoka is in about the worst possible place she can be. She's on a bloody cruiser surrounded by clones. Dang. And as they walk onto the bridge, it feels so bloody Imperial. So much so this time around. And all this is played in silence until after they go into hyperspace, as they're headed to Coruscant at this point. Oh, it is coming shortly now, isn't it? Well, we get Ahsoka and Rex having a really neat conversation here about, well, war and peace. Because Ahsoka talks about how, well, as Jedi, you're trained to be keepers of the peace and not soldiers, but all she has ever known since being a Padawan is a soldier. And Rex, well, as a clone, they of course know no other way. That's why they even exist at all. So while other people may even wish that the war never happened, they wouldn't exist otherwise. And man, owing your existence to a war and having issues with that war, that is a screwy thing to have to be debating in your own head. And then Ahsoka's line here to Rex, well, then perhaps some good has come from all of it. The Republic couldn't have asked for better soldiers, nor I a better friend. Oh, that is painful. That is so painful to hear from her, because you know where it's going. And then Rex gets called away to take a transmission, and you're just like, no, don't go. Heck, he even asked if Ahsoka wanted to go with him, and maybe if Ahsoka went with me, that would help, because you know Order 66 is close at hand, and Rex just got called away. Oh. And now this next moment is Maul and Ahsoka both clearly being affected as we hear the final confrontation between Mace and Palpatine, where Anakin then comes and cuts Mace's hand off. Yeah, that just happened. And now over to Rex, who gets the execute Order 66. Yeah. So Rex, knowing what he has to do by his orders, he's shaking so badly and drops his helmet even. The other clones are ready to go follow that order themselves and take out Ahsoka, but he's like, no, I'll do it. And we get this little bit between Ahsoka and Rex of, hey, what's happening? And Rex, stay back, and there's a tear going down his face as he is shaking so badly while holding his blasters. And Rex is all, find him, Fives, find him, Fives. And, well, then all the clones, including Rex, start shooting at her. And, well, she's able to get out of this, of course, but which is impressive in its own right, it really is. But, dang, this part kills me right here. And it is beautifully done, too. And just how Fives in that way actually help get through to Rex even for enough of a moment to give Ahsoka the ability to get out. It's a nice callback to Fives. Yeah. Oh man, this part kills me. Whew. Dang. Yeah. Well, okay. So let's move on. So Ahsoka got away. Rex gives out his orders. And hey, guess what? Any soldier that doesn't comply will also be executed for treason. Yeah. Because all the Jedi leadership is getting executed for treason. Whee! Yay. Kind of weird to see it a little from that perspective too, huh? Now, I called that Ahsoka would head over and save Darth Maul. Why? It made sense for her, and of course Darth Maul also, well, has to survive because we know that he pops up in Solo. And this whole little piece of Ahsoka doing just that was interesting. So first off, she rescues him because he's about to get taken out by a couple clones. And Maul, during this, well, he realizes how the clones were used for Order 66 and finds it brilliant. Such a brilliant stroke, and, well, yeah, it is. But he misjudges the situation because he thinks Ahsoka's here to team up with him. Well, heck, to be honest, I kind of thought they were going to work together too during this. Not what ends up happening. It's not like Ahsoka and Ventress down on Coruscant, which was a very different matter. She's all, you don't understand. I'm not here to team up with you. I need a diversion, and you're it. Now go cause some chaos. It's what you're good at. No lightsabers or anything else for him, because she does not rooting for him. It's like, oh, speaking of being able to be cold right back, yeah. And you're just going, yeah, Ahsoka. Okay, and so we move on. Maul's off and Ahsoka's off. And all the escape pods are getting destroyed by the clones to make sure to stop any possible escape by them. That makes sense, and it's also ominous at the same time. You just destroyed all the escape pods, huh? Interesting. And then Ahsoka finds a few droids, which feels a bit of a callback reference to the droids arc that we had back in Season 5. Now, there's a little dorkiness to it, I'll grant, but some of it also feels in the vein of how R2 is sometimes used in the movies, so some of it's there. And during the course of this, Ahsoka finds out the story of what happened to Fives. Because Rex recorded a message about the inhibitor chips because he felt he owed it to Fives to go ahead and record that, even if he didn't buy it himself, but he still had enough suspicions and enough loyalty to his friend. So that also meant that when Rex was getting controlled there, he was probably able to realize a little bit of what was going on and actually was trying to get Ahsoka's help at that moment. But still, you can't fight it. Well, not for sure anyway. Yeah. So the droids stop Rex over in the hallway, because who would suspect the droids, and isolate him with blast doors. And we take him off to the med bay for as long as the many blast doors between the med bay and there will end up holding. Now, R7 is not having any luck finding the chip in his head. And, well, we've seen this kind of thing before, not finding the chip. Clearly they're programmed to not find it, or it's hidden in another way too, etc. And then Ahsoka ends up, it's a really interesting choice of phrase she uses. I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. And she starts saying it, and then even Rex says it in unison a little. And then they're able to find the chip. But it's really interesting that that phrase is used, because I didn't know Ahsoka or the Jedi would necessarily know that phrase. Clearly it's a Rogue One reference, of course, too, but that also makes it a reference to the Wills at that point. Is it something that Ahsoka picked up on her own while she was outside of being the Jedi? Or is it actually a phrase that the Jedi know as well? I am super curious as to how that all works at this point, because this is the first time we've ever heard a Jedi say this. Well, anyway, they find it. Ahsoka readies for battle while they're still working on Rex back there. And, well, as Rex starts to wake up, you see him readying on a blaster, but you know where that's headed. And it is so nice bringing him back because he shoots off a couple shots and helps in that fight there. And then we get the final little piece of this episode, because Ahsoka's curious how widespread this is, hoping, of course, that it's not super widespread. And Rex knows a hell of a lot better. Ahsoka, it's all of us. The entire Grand Army of the Republic has been ordered to hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. And that is the note that we pause on here. Yeah, that would definitely be the note, right? Now, that's where we paused at this one, and then there's only one left. By the way, maybe the droids were a little dorky, and I'll grant that, but that's about all I really complain about in this episode, and even still, this is a 10 out of 10. Never have I given so many 10 out of 10s to a single arc. Dang. Without further ado, let's head into the final episode of the entire series, episode 12, Victory and Death. So we start with this sad music opening, also telling us very clearly where we are and that we are coming to the end. And it just evokes sadness in me. As we're going through, Ahsoka is trying to avoid killing anyone during the course of this because she doesn't want to kill these clones, these people she knows, and she knows they're being controlled on top of all that. Yeah. Well, they succeed at that fight, and now the plan is going to be to go off to get a shuttle. Rex, this line, the boys are having a tough time of it. Did you hear Maul also escaped? And it's one of those, yeah, I let him out. What? You let Maul out? Why would you do that? Diversion, come on. That's one word for it. Yeah. Oh, man. I agree with Rex, and it's also all of your comrades who you're even closer to that way. Oh, so painful. Now, during the course of the fight for Maul, he actually got a hold on the comms off of one of the different soldiers. Essentially, he was able to get the clone's arm cut off in the course of one of those blast doors closing, which really gives us a nice excuse to overhear the other clones talking about what they're doing and be able to get their reactions to some of the events. Clever way of going about it. And then we have Maul heading off to the hyperdrive room. Oh my. Now, unlike Boba somehow pulling off destroying a cruiser way back in the series, I certainly can buy Maul doing that using the Force, and man, that is a thing to watch right there. Whoa. Well, anyway, back over to Rex and Ahsoka. And Rex again getting a good line, because they find out the hangar bay doors are sealed, they've got everything locked down, and he's like, hey, if they weren't trying to kill us, I'd be proud. And then just the other surprise of, wait, what, the hyperdrive is gone? How is the hyperdrive gone? And so they've crashed out of hyperspace, and, well, they have impending peril as they get the bay doors open and they can see the moon that the ship is crashing toward. And hey, remember that point about how it seemed ominous that there are no escape pods? Oh, it is really ominous now, isn't it? Because we are crashing toward a moon, hyperdrive is destroyed, the ship is going down, and there are no escape pods. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, and don't think it's going to be that easy to get away, because, there's a ton of clones in there now, too. Because they knew that's where they were going to have to go to get out as well. Yeah. And Jesse is the one leading all the clones at this point, which is definitely a good reason for him not to have died earlier now, isn't it? That's probably why he didn't die to Maul. And that's clever. That's a wise choice. I love Jesse, and now he's over here leading the clones. Oh, dang. Oh, you can't do this to me. And we get this conversation between Rex and Ahsoka of what the heck are we going to do? Are we just going to fight our way through? And Ahsoka is not willing to because she doesn't want to hurt them. And also there are just too dang many of them. And Rex just going, I hate to tell you this, but they don't care. This ship is going down and those soldiers, my brothers, are willing to die and take you and me along with them. And just the sadness of this moment. And during it, we then have Ahsoka take Rex's helmet off and we see a tear on his face. We just see how much all of this is affecting him because he's having to go through his own clones, and he also knows what he almost just did and knows this has affected all the clones. And what the hell do you do? Ahsoka talks to him and, well, gets through to him a little, but even then, Rex is deflated. You can see he seems defeated. And it's just one of those, so what are we going to do? Surrender? Admit defeat? Is that it? And, well, Ahsoka comes up with an idea. It's a good one, she thinks. Yeah. Gonna do something makeshift and see if it works, right? So it's time for a confrontation. So we get Rex leading Ahsoka out into the bay at gunpoint. Hold your fire! I said hold your fire! Have the situation under control. And Rex gives this whole line because, hey, Ahsoka's not actually a Jedi and has been for a while, so no, we can't execute her because she's not a Jedi. Well, we all know this isn't going to work. Jesse's all, hey, no, you said yourself were under special order from Darth Sidious to eliminate Ahsoka. And any clone who disobeys Order 66, which you're doing right now, aren't ya? Yeah. And then Rex actually seems to get through to Jesse for just a bit when he talks about how long they've known each other and that they've got to get it right, etc. Because there is an interesting hesitation from Jesse. He even starts to lower his blasters for a bit. And I don't think it's the logic of what he was saying about trying to use that whole Ahsoka's not a Jedi or anything like that. I think it's that personal connection more than that didn't. But then Jesse seems to snap to orders and he's right back there. Yeah, well, hey, worth a shot, right? But really, the whole point was to delay long enough that the droids could get into place and then use the platforms to drop all of those clones down into this area underneath the bay to a different level of it, which would allow them to then get to a shuttle and get the heck out. Yeah. And by the way, for what it's worth, it is interesting on the Order 66 piece, and I thought so at the time too, but talking about who all gets covered, because clearly Maul gets covered. He's not a Jedi, he's a Sith. Clearly, people like Ahsoka get covered, and I imagine, heck, a lot of Force sensitives would probably get covered as well if you know it. So it's interesting how you program that in there and get that work that way, but hey, it all works and yeah, it makes sense. So, for shorthand, we often just talk about killing the Jedi. Yeah, scary stuff right there. Okay, so then they get onto a shuttle and they get out, and that's the end of the episode. That's the arc, it's over, it's right there. Well, no, wait, no, because that would be incredibly unsatisfying now, wouldn't it? So what does happen? Well, Darth Maul actually steals the shuttle they were after. Yeah. And Ahsoka tries to use the Force to stop him, but that's just really not going to work because they're going to get overwhelmed by the rest of the clones, and so Maul gets away, as we knew he would have to get out of this somehow. Now, all of this is going on while they're still on a ship that is crashing into a moon, all of this battle. Because, again, these clones are all okay if they die in order to accomplish their mission. Oy, oy, oy. Yeah. Oh, and the droids all end up meeting their unsurprising ends. Not a surprise. You knew they were all going to die here at some point. And it's impressive to watch how we get to see Ahsoka actually really starting to get exhausted in this fight, and even starting to take some glancing shots. It's a nice attention to detail. I like it. And then we have this action scene, because Rex gets into the fighter, and, well, starts to get it up and going, but then everything starts really crashing because they get into the atmosphere and the way everything shifts. Yeah, that's out. And that means the fighter heads off into the atmosphere as well. And we get this intriguing, crazy action scene with Ahsoka having to get on board the fighter while everything's crashing through the atmosphere. So outside of the actual cruiser, jumping from debris to debris, and wow. It reminds you a little of the very beginning of this arc, too, where, well, maybe not quite the very beginning, but the Mandalore part in the first episode where she's doing something similar. But this is, oh, wow, to such a bigger degree, too. Well, she makes it into the fighter at the end. Of course she does. No surprise. But, oh, that was a cool scene. Now, after she gets on board, you watch the cruiser in the background disappear into the clouds, and there's a profound sadness to this, which really overshadows any relief we get about Ahsoka and Rex having gotten away from the cruiser. And you can also see it play across both of their faces too, because you know that all those clones that were on there are dead, essentially, at this point, because they just crashed with that into the friggin' moon. All of those people you both knew so well. Yeah, all those people who, due to no fault of their own, became your enemies in this case. Oy, oy, oy. Really, if you're both of them, at this point, I don't see how you don't see it as having failed to save all of them. And that is a lot on your head. Yeah, yikes. Okay, so now we head down onto the moon, and Rex is at the fighter, and we head over to see some of the other wreckage, and Ahsoka with her cloak on, this big old gray cloak, and all the clone helmets that are out there on wood posts marking their deaths. Yeah. And Jesse's helmet is one of those. Yeah, of course he's dead too, but that just hits it home that much more to see his helmet there. and all the helmets that still had the orange paint on them. Well, Ahsoka lets her lightsaber fall to the ground. And that is such an emotional piece and visually so well done in here.
Yeah, it gets to you.
And then we jump to one last and final scene for the entire series. And that's a Lambda shuttle and stormtroopers, not just clones anymore. So we're clearly in the future. And Vader comes in, and earlier we had no snow, but now it's a snowy backdrop, which fits as such a great contrast to Darth Vader in the black. And he heads up near to that ship where that memorial had been, and he finds Ahsoka's saber lying down there. And the effect of going ahead and seeing that, lighting up the lightsaber, he ends up taking the lightsaber with him, but yeah, you know it affected Vader right there too. And there's a bird flying up in the background, and then in a broken clone helmet, we see Vader walking away until he fades off in the distance. Beautiful, beautiful ending. And by the way, that helmet was a helmet with Ahsoka's orange pattern that was to honor her shortly before they all turned on her. And that is the closing image of the Clone Wars. Oh, it is an utterly beautiful cinematic ending. Another moment in this arc right here to be sad and perhaps shed a tear too, let me tell you. Now, when I was live streaming this is the kind of arc that, and when I watch certain things, that it just affects you enough that you just can't jump into watching another thing right afterwards, that you're probably good for 15 to half an hour, whatever. And that was the case for this arc too. Of course, while on a live stream, I couldn't quite do it. Had to get back to talking because I was actually live streaming, but trust me, I would have been, just stopped and lost in thought and thinking about this. And for a bit. It is that good, definitely. The ending on the moon there that we have is just completely amazing. And I couldn't have asked for a better ending to the Clone Wars. I had no idea what to expect for this. And I would have guessed it so wrong. So bloody wrong as to how it would end. Exactly. And frankly, it was better than anything I would have ended up asking for. And what else can I say about this arc? I've talked a lot about it here. Heck, you know what time it is right now anyway. And let's just say wow, and more wow. I miss everyone from Clone Wars so much already. Dang, I wish we could have more. I guess I could also say something like, why'd they have to die? It's not fair. If I were all powerful, which I think you'll all agree I certainly should be, we would make those unfinished arcs of Clone Wars and also have some other spin-off shows set in the same time period, and we would shoot them or something. If only, right? Maybe we'll still get some more unfinished ones made at some point in the future. It's always possible, right? Well, every one of the 4 episodes in this arc are an easy 10 out of 10 for me. Easily my favorite arc of the series. It's not even a question. And there are certainly a number of great arcs in the course of Clone Wars. And it's going to be neat to go ahead and get to see them again sometime in the future and watch them again with all of this other knowledge in here. Now, if you're curious about some of my overall thoughts on the series, I did a live stream Sunday, my Clone Wars retrospective. Feel free to check that out. And if there's something I didn't talk about and you're curious, always feel free to leave me a comment and I'll try to respond to it. I've really enjoyed taking this ride with all of you. Really and truly, I have. I've met so many Star Wars fans in the comments down in these videos, and I've learned a lot from each of you as well, both in terms of perspective on these different things and all kinds of background and the connections to the rest of the galaxy. And it's been great. And also all of you being here and supporting it has also made me so much happier doing all of this, and just the enthusiasm for the videos. Oh, I've loved it so much. Thank you all. Now, this isn't goodbye for a few reasons, because Crystal Crisis, I'll be doing a video on that next week, and I'm sure it's going to feel very anticlimactic because it'll be my last piece of Clone Wars after I watch the finale, but hey, what can you do? And then after that, it'll be on to Rebels, and then Mandalorian's going to be airing, and I am sure that I will have some other kinds of Clone Wars videos in the future that I will put out. Certainly not first-time viewings, of course, because that is over and done with at this point. But maybe some creative things, maybe some top moments types of videos, perhaps some what-ifs. I mean, there are lots of possibilities in here. Feel free to chime in if there's something that you want to see me do. And until then, well, what about you? Where did you rank Season 7? And I was asked this, so let me go ahead and ask all of you as well. If you had to rank this arc against the Star Wars movies, where would it rank for you? Let me know down below in the comments. And thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like and share it, and definitely don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out if you go ahead and do that. And I will see you back here again tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.